Alrighty, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm Savannah Louie here at the Atlanta News First Alert Desk. We've got your top 5 stories for this Monday night here. The date is May 8th. 8 o'clock on the dot. I'm so happy that you could join us all here. And let's get right into it. We're going to start off with an update to a story that many of you probably remember happening last Wednesday. It was huge, not just here for the Atlanta area, but all across the country. We're talking about the Midtown Atlanta mass shooting. Now, the update I have for you here is that a group of lawmakers that are based out of Atlanta are now calling on the Georgia governor to make some changes and make some improvements when it comes to gun safety here in Georgia overall. So a group of 4 lawmakers, all Democrats, sent this letter to the governor today. They're calling for a special legislative session here at the Capitol to address a firearm-related public safety concern. Now, that letter was signed this morning by 1 state senator and 3 representatives, and it reminds the governor that with that power granted by the state constitution, he has the capability to call a special session. And they also say if there's any time for it, right now would be the time to call that special session. The letter cites the recent mass shooting here in Atlanta. It also cites, remember, I don't know if you may have caught this one, but there was another shooting in Moultrie, Georgia. That's about 2 hours south of Atlanta, where 3 people were killed plus the shooter. So 4 people killed total. Really devastating story there. Now, what kind of changes do these Democrats want to see? Well, they include red flag laws, background checks, and cool-down periods. And they say these things are widely supported by the public, and right now is the time for the state law to reflect that. Atlanta News First reached out to the governor's office on the call for the special session. And as of right now, 8 o'clock on this Monday, we have not heard back. But if we do get a statement from the governor's office or any update into whether we could see a special session actually happen or not, we'll be sure to keep you updated on air and online. Atlanta News First. We've always got you covered here. All right, moving straight ahead here. You know, it's so funny when I was doing these, organizing the stories, I didn't realize until about 5 minutes before this newscast, this short show that we have here at the First Alert Desk, that half of our stories have to do with what you could call growing pains. There's always some development going on in the Atlanta area. And here we're going to talk about something that's going on right now in Lilburn. I know this doesn't look like much, but there are plans for a massive redevelopment in Lilburn over in Gwinnett County. And right now the community is weighing in on more change planned for what is one of Georgia's fastest growing counties. A proposed development in Lilburn would include more than 260 luxury apartments. There's also plans for a restaurant along with a gaming hall. Now, the proposal also calls for a public-private parking deck that would include about 700 spaces. That's going to be a lot there. A lot of people come to Lilburn. Might be a nice place to grab a bite to eat. Now, some nearby businesses, though, say that this part of Railroad Avenue, it's a bit of an eyesore. You tell me. And a new development would attract more residents to the Old Town Lilburn. But others are in opposition, and they say they would rather see more affordable housing than those big luxury apartments built. And I mean, here in the Atlanta metro area, we hear about affordable housing all the time. This is a huge source of concern for anyone who lives here in the metro Atlanta area. Community members in Lilburn speaking out tonight. That meeting began 35 minutes ago in Lilburn. They're sounding off right now, vocalizing their opinions on this new redevelopment plan before the leaders in Lilburn actually make that vote and decide what's going to happen. We'll bring you an update as that vote concludes. I know a lot of people are interested in any type of growth here in the metro Atlanta area. It's always interesting to talk about. All right, moving straight ahead here, we're going to switch directions here. We're going to go down south to Clayton County, where we are talking about Victor Hill. Alrighty, a former sheriff, you know him, Victor Hill, he was denied freedom from prison. Tonight, a federal judge is not allowing a request from former Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill, there he is, to be granted. You'll remember Hill was convicted of violating the civil rights of multiple detainees in his jail, and he's set to begin an 18-month prison sentence next week in Arkansas. Now, previously, he had asked the judge to allow him to stay out of prison while his appeal processes. He didn't want to be in there. But that judge denied the request today. And what you're looking at here is some of that concerning video from when Hill was accused of violating those civil rights of inmates. All right, we are going to move on. I know I told you we have those development stories, those growing stories, this one happening in Cobb and Fulton County. A little expansion, if you will, of the Silver Comet Trail. Have you guys been out there? Oh my gosh, what a great place to get outdoors. Absolutely beautiful. You're looking at someone right now enjoying it. Now, this expansion would allow more room for bikers, joggers, and people with strollers. Anyone who gets out there. Cobb County's Silver Comet Trail is pushing into Atlanta, specifically the Beltline area. I'm all over the Beltline. I can't wait for this. Now, the Cobb County Department of Transportation and PATH officials are working together to get this project done. The goal here is to extend the trail along Atlanta Road from Plant Atkinson Road to the Chattahoochee River. What an expansion. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the Silver Comet Trail, this trail is huge. It's probably one of the longest, if not the longest, in our area. Construction on this expansion begins this summer. So if you're looking forward to hitting the trails in summer, you might be a little crazy. It gets hot out there, but you'll have that to look forward to. No word yet on when exactly it's supposed to be finished, but hopefully during maybe the cooler months when you're going to want to be on the trail. All right, my final story for you guys tonight, and my final expansion story as well. See, I told you we had a lot here. Let's go over to Sweet Auburn, the Sweet Auburn neighborhood over in Atlanta, Fulton County. Oh, love this area. It is so cute. New resources are coming into this community. It'll have a huge impact on the people who live and visit the area. You can see some of the shops right here. Now, this is a community that has seen so much as the city of Atlanta continues to grow and transform. Today, Senator John Ossoff announced new resources will help invest more into this neighborhood as well as support local small businesses through what they call the Spark Innovation Lab. This lab offers business training, mentorship, and help for small business owners. It's a really great tool for anyone who not only owns a business out in the Sweet Auburn community, but if you frequent some of those businesses, if you live by some of those businesses, if you're supporting that economy, you want to see them succeed. So this is really exciting news for thousands of people. Sweet Auburn, of course, has a very deep history here in Atlanta. It is one of our oldest neighborhoods with some major significance when it comes to civil rights, where the birth of the civil rights movement occurred. So a lot of folks, again, really excited. And look, there's Ebenezer Baptist Church. See, that's what I'm talking about. I think a lot of people have been very concerned about some of the older and more historic places in the Atlanta area as we continue to see our city grow. It's so exciting, but you know, you don't want the old businesses or the things that make Atlanta so special to be forgotten or, you know, gone due to the growth here, which can unfortunately happen sometimes when you see that happen with these big cities. Anyways, I digress. Thank you so much for joining me here on this wonderful Monday night. I hope this was a great way to start off your week. I know that it was a wonderful way to start off mine with all of you. And with that, we will leave you with this beautiful look at Centennial Olympic Park, where, oh, by the way, I should have mentioned this. Tickets for Look Up Atlanta went on sale today. I'm going to talk about this real fast. I know our meteorologist, Patrick Pete, is on standby waiting to get in, but I got to mention this. Tickets for Look Up Atlanta on sale today. You can buy them at atlantanewsfirst.com. We are so excited because we are going to be part of this huge celebration at Centennial Olympic Park on July 1st. That's a Saturday. If you can't make it out to that festivity, that fun, you can always watch us on Atlanta News First, Peachtree TV, I believe, will be streaming it. I gotta double check on that. But for sure at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. And with that, we have our wonderful meteorologist, Patrick Pete, on standby. He's like, Savannah, stop talking, stop blabbing. I'm ready to talk about the weather. And I know all of you at home are ready to hear about it. So, Patrick, take it away.
Nah, I'm just thinking about food. That's all. It's always food with me. What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you are having a fantastic Monday evening. I had to figure out what day of the week it was just because it's been an interesting week. But the weather today was pretty nice for the bulk of the day. We had some morning showers. We had a couple of afternoon pops, but nothing that was too overwhelming. And as we head through the next 7 days, we're going to see similar trends. I do think that tomorrow is going to be pretty dry, with the exception of the early morning hours. There is going to be some showers moving in. They're going to weaken as they slide further south, but I think we'll have some showers in North Georgia early in the morning. And then as we head into the afternoon, I do expect some afternoon pop-ups, much like we saw today. Listen, we're in the phase of that summertime trend. So more of that is going to be in the cards for us as we head through the next couple of days. Now, this is a weak front, but it's going to do enough to give us some dry time on Wednesday, and then rain chances are going to creep back in. I think Friday is the day that we're watching the closest for the potential for some of those widespread showers and isolated storms. So Thursday's looking pretty dry as well, is what that means. Let's get you through the next couple of days so that you can plan ahead. Then, of course, we'll have that special Mother's Day forecast coming up for you, too. Meanwhile, starting off with a mix of sun and clouds for us by 7 o'clock in the morning, we'll see that energy diminishes and we'll see clearing by around lunchtime. But as we head into the afternoon, we are going to see more of those pop-ups firing up. Not an overwhelming amount of them, but they're going to be there. And if you're driving underneath one, you're going to be annoyed. So just be prepared for that. We'll start to see the energy quiet down as soon as we head into the evening. Essentially, the sun sets and all of that energy just fades away with it as well. So not an overly wet day, just going to be watching for those afternoon pop-ups. Temperatures are going to be unseasonably warm. 79 degrees is the magic number, and we're going to be well above that before lunchtime. Checking out a mix of sun and clouds through the bulk of the morning. You'll be able to roll down the windows as you make your way into work, and we're going to see temperatures that are climbing as we head into the afternoon, quickly getting into the lower 80s. And I expect us to get into the mid 80s. And if you are in a location that dodges some of those afternoon pop-ups, you may even get into the upper 80s. So I won't be surprised to see a couple of 87s, 88s on the map tomorrow afternoon for folks that don't get any of those pop-ups. Meanwhile, that unseasonably warm trend will continue heading into your Wednesday. I do expect it to be a little bit cooler behind that front. We'll see a northeasterly breeze for the first half of the morning. That's going to have us in the upper 50s, low 60s. We'll get into the 70s around lunchtime, so it's going to be warm. We're at 75 here in Atlanta, getting into the upper 70s, low 80s for a couple of hours through the afternoon. You can see there are some showers building into the west, but I do think that the bulk of us will be dry through the day. I'm not expecting much from that energy. Meanwhile, the humidity will become a factor as we extend out the forecast, because once we head into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those dew points are going to crest mid to upper 60s, near 70. That's going to be more humid than we've been all year, and you're going to notice it when you step outside. And because it is Mother's Day weekend, you're going to feel it even more, because I know y'all are all trying to get out with your moms, and whether it's breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, a cookout, barbecue, whatever the case may be, it is just going to be very warm through the afternoon. We're talking about spending the bulk of the day in the 80s, but that afternoon high will actually hit 90 degrees for the first time since last September. So be prepared for it. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. That's going to be the story that we're going to be saying as we head through the next few months. Going to get a little taste of summer. Mother's Day looks to be mainly dry, just a very low end chance for some showers, better chance for showers and storms on Monday. So that is your wrap up of the forecast. As you all know, we have more newscasts to come tonight. Our teams are hard at work, getting more info on the news of the day and breaking news. And of course, we're going to have an update on the forecast for you tonight at 9, 10, and 11. So happy Monday. Let's get it.